Hello, my name is Min Jung Kim, and I'm excited to welcome you to this art quest. I'm so glad you're joining us. My job here at the St. Louis Art Museum is the Barbara B. Taylor Director. You might wonder what a museum director does. Well, like the principal of a school or a coach of a sports team, I'm the leader of the museum. I get to work with the team here to welcome visitors in person and online, and to create art displays and programs that invite people to learn about art from artists and cultures from around the world, from ancient times to the present. The theme for today's Art Quest is Woven Together. St. Louis Art Museum's educators will be taking us on a global adventure to explore works of art related to gatherings and celebrations when friends, family, and communities come together, often to enjoy a meal. One of the foods I look forward to in joining with my family and friends when we gather is Korean-style barbecue. What are your favorite foods for holidays, birthdays, and other special occasions? I'm sure you can all think of many delicious things. Another terrific way to spend time with others is at the Art Museum. I want to personally invite you to visit the St. Louis Art Museum with your family and friends. We would love to see you. Now, I think we're ready to set off on our art quest. I think and I hope you will have fun learning about art and making some of your own.
Hello, my name's Leslie, and I'm here today with my friends Lisa
Hi.
and Pratima
Hey.
to talk about celebrations that bring people together. All around the globe, people gather to celebrate a variety of things such as family events and holidays, birthdays, religious occasions, weddings. You get the idea. There's a lot to celebrate in life and many ways to do it. Often, gathering with your family, friends, or community means eating together. And all over the world, celebrations and festivals feature special foods that are meant to be prepared and enjoyed together.
On today's Art Quest, we'll explore 3 works of art that were made to cook, store, and serve food. We'll learn about the different materials used to make these containers. We'll look closely at the interesting patterns and designs on these objects. And we'll practice some drawing techniques.
As always, we will end our adventure with an art project, leaving a special placemat to use at home for your own celebration. Feel free to pause this video at any time to discuss the artwork with the people you're with, or to gather materials and supplies for your art project. Are we ready?
Let's go on an art quest.
Let's go. Let's take a few moments to observe this work of art. This round covered container was made in Iran more than 1,000 years ago. It was created from a type of stone called steatite and is known for its ability to hold heat. For that reason, steatite was often used to make containers for cooking, which is how this container was once used. You may have lidded containers made from clay, glass, or other materials in your home for cooking soups, stews, casseroles, or other foods. What foods would you like to make in a container like this one? Let's look more closely at some of the details of the container. The artist who created it elaborately decorated the outside by carving lines and shapes into the stone to add textures and designs. The circular lid has a crosshatch border around the outside edge. Crosshatching is a drawing technique where parallel lines are placed at right angles to each other to create a mesh-like pattern. An upright handle with 2 ear-like extensions on either side is set in the center of the lid. The handle has a mushroom-shaped cutout in the center. The body of the container has a band at the top and bottom with more crosshatch patterns. The vessel also has two rectangular handles on either side. These handles are surrounded by a thick band of more crosshatch patterns. Looking closely at the lid and the central band around the body of the container, you'll notice other interesting designs. They are writing in the language Arabic. Decorative writing in Arabic and other languages is known as calligraphy. The specific style of Arabic calligraphy on this container is known as Kufic script. Notice how the tops of the taller letters end in leaves and flowers. Let's take a few minutes to practice decorative handwriting or lettering. Pause the video and practice writing your name by adding flowers, leaves, or decorative elements to the ends of your letters. Here is an example of calligraphy or decorative writing that we made. This two-handled vessel, another word for container, is shaped like a bowl and rests on three cylindrical legs. Two rectangular handles stand upright on its rim or outside edge. It was used for cooking food over an open fire during special ceremonies to honor a family's ancestors in ancient China. The word in Chinese for this type of container is ding, which means tripod or something supported by three legs. The ding is made of bronze and it is more than 3,000 years old. When it was brand new, the bronze was shiny and golden in color. Today, its color is greenish gray with shades of brown. When this bronze object and others like it were buried in the ground for many years and then exposed to air and moisture, the metal turned various shades of green, red, and brown. This aged surface color is called patina. The patina is not harmful to the vessel. It just gives it this unique appearance. The body of this vessel has a raised line that runs down the center with similar shapes facing each other on either side of the line. This is an example of a symmetrical design. When viewed together, the line and shapes surrounding it form a mask that is common in ancient Chinese art. It can be a little tricky to see the mask when you are first looking for it. Here is a bronze sculpture of the same kind of mask to help you pick it out on the vessel. Let's take a few moments to look for other symmetrical designs on this object. Spiral and dragon-shaped patterns inside a thin band wrap around the top of the vessel. The dragons each have a rectangular body with a mouth and a tail shaped like a large letter C. Spiral shapes and lines around them fill the empty space inside the band. Below this band, larger patterns form a design and wrap around the midsection. Delicate raised rectangular spirals fill the gaps around larger shapes that curve and coil across the vessel. The legs are decorated with curls and lines that border the top. V-shaped lines run down the middle of the legs and are surrounded by curls. Let's take a moment to think about different letters of the alphabet that can be used to draw a bird or an animal. Take a few minutes to sketch these shapes on a piece of paper. Let's look closely at this large woven basket. To help you imagine the size of this basket, here's a visual comparison. This basket is roughly the size of 2 brown paper grocery bags. Thick geometric lines fill the top and bottom bands of decoration that wrap around this basket. These T-shaped forms in light and dark shades of brown create an uninterrupted pattern. They are outlined by thinner lines above and below. Repetitive concentric diamonds in pale yellow and dark brown are centered between the T-shaped patterns, and they also wrap around the basket. Concentric means when a larger shape surrounds a smaller one and they both share a common center. These shapes do not touch or overlap each other. The indigenous Tlingit artist from Alaska who made this basket was very skilled in weaving techniques and creatively combined the different natural colors and textures of spruce roots, grasses, and ferns to create the elaborate patterns we see. The artist twined pairs of horizontal strands over and under vertical splints of spruce roots. The horizontal strands are called the weft, and the vertical splints are called the warp. While building up the form of the basket, she used a technique called false embroidery to wrap grasses and ferns around the outward-facing horizontal wefts to create the abstract surface pattern. Tlingit basket makers are known for creating finely woven, flexible baskets. After you finish watching this video, take a walk around the park or your neighborhood. Look for repetitive patterns in nature, maybe in the flower bed, or leaves, or the bark of a tree, or even rocks. You can use the inspiration from these patterns found in nature when creating your own art. The 3 works of art we've explored together have some things in common. All 3 are types of containers that could be used to cook, store, or serve food. They have elaborate designs that highlight the skills and techniques of the artists who made them. There are also some differences between the containers. They were made from different materials and created in different parts of the world. We invite you to visit slam.org to learn more about these and many other works of art in the museum's collection.
Now, let's use our observations from the 3 works of art we just explored to inspire and design woven paper placemats that you can use to set the table for a special meal when you get together with your family, friends, or community. To make our placemats, let's first gather some supplies. To make the base for the placemat, take a thicker piece of paper, such as cardstock. Fold the paper in half by making a hamburger fold. Using a ruler, measure and mark lines on the fold to create approximately half-inch strips or sections. These lines can be straight, wavy, or zigzag lines. Cut along the marked lines, starting from the folded edge of the paper, leaving about an inch at the end uncut.
Open the folded paper to see the sliced lines. They look like window blinds. Now let's pick a patterned piece of paper to contrast the plain cardstock paper you just cut. Measure and mark lines at 1/2 inch or any measurement you like on the vertical side of the paper. I have included paper from magazines as well. It is okay to use different kinds of paper, like flyers or junk mail too. Make sure to use paper that is thicker so that it is easy to weave. If you do not have a ruler, or if it seems easier, you can also fold the paper and then make the cuts. Or you can make an estimated guess of the measurements and then cut the paper. Cut along these marked lines to make long strips. Now you are ready to weave. Weave the paper strips into the slits cut in the placemat. Starting from the back, bring the first strip up through the first slit and down through the second. Continue weaving the strips up and down through the slits. What we are doing here is the warp and the weft. The base of your placemat is the warp, and the strips of paper that you're weaving through are the weft. Glue the ends of the strips to the placemat. This is to keep the strips from sliding out of place. Arrange the strips or sections so they are evenly spaced in the slits. Cut the long ends or the excess strips of paper. Using markers, you may decorate the cardstock paper that is visible. Feel free to use the patterns we practiced earlier or create new ones. You can also use crayons or colored pencils or any drawing supplies you may have at home to decorate the placemat. Here are 2 different ways you can make your placemats. This one was made by weaving solid colored paper with patterned paper strips. And this one was also made by weaving different papers, and I added drawn patterns inspired by the artworks. We would love to see what you make. Please share your creations on social media by using the hashtags STLArtMuseum and SlamArtQuest. Thank you for joining us today. Keep exploring and making art, and we hope you will visit the museum soon.